It up. All right. We should be live now.
Yeah, I'm watching it. It says a minute 51, so hopefully it'll start up in a second.
It should. Oh, it's usually a little delayed.
There it goes.
Bum, bum, bum. All right. No Q today, so we'll actually probably stay mostly on topics.
I'll actually get a chance to say something.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, nah, Q's always good to have on the show, but
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely the wild card.
yeah.
I come with the facts, you come with a differing point of view. It's a good mix.
Yeah, I know. There's no one like I always get to bounce the usually either me or Q play devil's advocate, and so you're gonna pick up the slack. um, Especially when we get to the BG3.
I was actually more curious about the voice actors and the mods getting upset. Which way you were going to go with it?
Yeah,
So we'll see.
you'll find out.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus, and with me today on Skype.
We have Bloodaxe.
All right, let's get started. Shit, yeah, man. Oh, there we go. Dang it.
You know, not even 60 seconds
Not
in.
even 60 seconds in. You know. All right. I guess on the lighter side of news, I don't know how many fans of this show even exist anymore. I know me and Jarek were big fans of it. Our boy Jarek, but I don't think you watched Babylon 5, did you? Bloodaxe.
No, Babylon 5 came out during a time where I was leaving college and getting married, which that didn't turn out very well, and didn't have cable because, she wasn't responsible financially. I just put it that way.
All right, let's not do marriage canceling. We both have a lot of baggage there, but
So it's one of those shows that I would have watched, but it was just in a dead
yeah.
time and uh, cable wise, and it's something I never went back and tried to find where you can stream it from. But from a sci-fi perspective, I've heard a lot of good things about that and Red Dwarf. Those are the two that I wish I'd actually had
Oh,
watched.
Red Dwarf. Now I'm big up there with Red Dwarf, man. I was a huge Red Dwarf fan. So
So when you sent this topic, I was like, I need to find where I could stream this because I would love to watch a reboot of Babylon 5 because I would go in completely blind as far as expectations go and would be curious to see what your and Jarek's points of view were versus someone who's completely oblivious to the history of Babylon 5.
yeah.
Because with any reboot, they usually do more damage than good. So it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. But I'm glad that the CW is actually keeping it because they've slaughtered a lot of their shows recently.
They have, and it really it seems like they're trying to change their image some with this new company that picked it up. They slaughtered a lot of the shows that really weren't doing well that were for some reason kept alive. They got rid of a lot of that, and but yeah, I was proud to see they did not scratch this, at least not yet. It's on hold because of the writer's strike. So if it makes it through that, we'll find out. But no, like the original, I think is streaming on HBO Max, or now it's Max Network. It's not HBO anymore. They took
Oh,
HBO
okay.
off of it. But yeah, I think it's on Max, or it used to be on Max. And no, I'm torn on this one because now I will say Babylon 5 to me had a rough start. Like the first season, I went back and rewatched, and the first season was a little rough to get through, but it turned into a really good show. And the problem with this is it's a reboot. It's going to take the same characters and tell the story probably a different way, because obviously they're not just going to tell you the same story.
Right.
But I feel like they could have just done a new story in that world, and I would have been probably less worried. You know,
right.
Reboots is always a scary word.
Yeah, and that's the stance that I usually take is don't retell the same story with the same characters. Do something in a different part of whatever you're dealing with, whether it be a different part of the planet or in this case a different part of space. And that way you will not offend the hardcore fans of the original, and those that come in and watch it, and then if they like it, they may go back and watch the original, therefore drumming up more interest in the series. So I agree with you. I think telling a new story with new characters. Now, if you want to bring in one of the legacy characters that's been recast for an episode or so for that nostalgia, okay, that works. They did that with Strange New Worlds. They brought in a new Captain Kirk. The actor looked nothing like William Shatner, but he did a good job playing the character, and it didn't bother me as a huge Star Trek fan. So if you wanted to bring in a legacy character for some small story arc, I think that actually would work.
Well, and that's the thing with Babylon 5. It was such a huge world building. Like it had a huge universe. Like the world they built was massive. So being able to have that massive of a world already built for you to put in a new story, that would have been pretty good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and like you said, you could have had some of the old actors return. I know for a while, I think the original actor said he had not even been contacted when they were redoing the show. So there was no real pull there. But hey, it's the original creator that's doing the reboot. So maybe he has a plan and it'll work out. It's something I want to watch just to see. Now, I may be highly disappointed with my wait, but I am anticipating something.
Yeah, and I don't know how I can watch CW shows if they have an app, if you have to actually have a subscription or cable, which I cut the cord years ago. So I'll try to need to find ways to where I can actually watch it so I can actually discuss it with you on the show and have some kind of an intelligent response as opposed to someone that we know just watches YouTube videos and gets an idea from somebody else's opinion.
Somebody. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. No, like I said, though, it was interesting that it was left on the table. And like I said, in the face of mass cancellation, it was left. So that's that tends to have a pretty strong light on it's gonna make it. So we'll see. Speaking of new shows and things that are gonna make it, there is another new show that is in the works. Well, I think it's one of those one shots, but it looks interesting to me. I know you're not an anime fan, but this amused me, and I thought it was worth checking out. And that is the new Suicide Squad Isekai. Now, what this is it's the Suicide Squad anime style in another world. And I like Suicide Squad. I find it an interesting story. So taking that and putting it in an anime style cartoon with that in another world trope sounds pretty cool to me.
To give the audience the idea of how much anime I watch, when he sent me the link, I pronounced it Asaki. So,
Well, and I'm not even going to say that I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's just everywhere I've gone, isekai is how it was has been pronounced.
yeah,
You know, it's not English, so
yeah,
it's a English variation of a Japanese term. But yeah,
yeah. And the only anime I watched was like the Batman animated series back in the '90s and the X-Men series. I was actually at a store yesterday, and I should have texted the group because I traded in a crap ton of stuff because everyone knows I'm moving, and I had close to 1,000 DVDs, Blu-rays, and I had like $300 credit. I'm like, they have a crap ton of anime. What's the anime I should actually, get start with that actually I may be interested in? So I may actually pick yours and Q's brain later because I still have close to a couple $100 left. But I did buy it's called a RetroCon. I don't know if you can see it on the screen here, but it plays NES and SNES cartridges. So I'm like, that's pretty badass. So I may go back to that same store where I bought this and see if I can find an anime that you guys may suggest that would be interesting.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you might want to talk to Jarek. I know you're into a lot of the mecha stuff, and he's more into the mecha stuff. So our boy Jarek, if he ever gets in the chat room, he does sometimes. You should holler at him. But no, dude, I love the animation style on this. The quality of the animation looks really good. Interesting design on the Joker and Harley. So I'm curious how they're going to do the isekai switch, but it should be interesting. I'm hoping for a fun time. I'm definitely going to try to pick it up when it comes out.
It looks interesting. Again, not a big anime fan, but just for what we've seen from the stills, it actually looks pretty good.
They did a similar thing with Batman a while back. They did that Batman anime style. So DC is definitely working with some anime studios to make for some interesting concept. But all right. Now to the things that we're probably more knowledgeable on for both of us, and that's the gaming world. And currently, there's several things that have brought up quite a bit of stir. One of them is with voice actors and not safe for work mods. I doubt. Honestly, from reading this and what their complaint is, I don't think their complaint is only with not safe for work mods. The biggest thing that they're complaining about is going to be the whole deepfake thing and pretty much mods utilizing voice actors' voice, and deepfake to basically add voice that they did not record. So these mods are adding content, and of course, one of the biggest modded games, which is Skyrim, happens to be the one currently in the spotlight, as people have added pornographic AI mods utilizing the voice actor's voice through deepfakes. Now, I actually do get why the voice actor is sort of upset. It is their voice. It is stuff they didn't agree to record. They didn't get paid for the likeness of their voice. And honestly, mods sort of lead game development a lot. So if mods are using deep fake are basically able to do voice without having to have actual voice actors, and it comes off well, that could, lead to the end of needing voice actors. I mean, not that long ago we had what was that, Bayonetta, where there was the big issue with how much the voice actors were getting paid and all that. So if I can replace that, save some money, save some heartache.
Hang on.
Uh-oh.
Take her outside. I'm doing the show, son. My God.
But
hear dog claws.
But yeah, so I mean, I get why voice actors would be upset, but I mean, this is almost it's like being upset with machinery, and robots, and being a assembly line worker. It's sort of maybe the future is catching up and making a certain job obsolete.
Yeah, and that's do that again and see what happens, son. Anyway, I know with deepfakes they've taken celebrities and typed in text and actually had some pretty interesting things, but you got paid for a job. No one's making money off these mods.
Yeah.
So I don't have a major problem with it. But yeah, I agree. I can see their point of view, but you got compensated. And you don't get compensated when they create a mod and leave your original voice in there. So if they're doing the extra work and they're modifying the context of the voice, so be it. I mean, it's one of those things that geeks like us will go and tinker and have fun doing things, just because either we're trying to fix something that in the game was broken or something that may be more fun. So yeah, I think they should just back off and go do their work. But if this is going to be the future, then they may want to ask for more money for their voice likenesses because
yeah, and that's the thing is selling the likeness. Now, if you're going to sell the likeness, now I mean the whole thing with voice acting though is you're trying not to use your actual own voice on a lot of this stuff. So then the only ones that you want the likeness of is going to be your really popular people. Like if you have Patrick Stewart, Patrick Stewart's done a lot of voice acting in games. If you ever played a lot of RPGs, I mean, there's been several where Patrick Stewart's voiced basically the king or the emperor, Yeah. And he uses his voice because that's what people are listening for. You don't want Patrick Stewart not to use his voice when he's voice acting because people want to hear his voice. Right. But when it comes to a lot of these other voice actors, the whole point of them is that they can change their voice and use, variations of a voice. And a machine can do that. Yeah.
And I mean, any of those iconic voices, whether it be like James Earl Jones or Patrick Stewart or someone along those lines, yeah, I mean, those are going to be in high demand. And with the deep fake technology getting as good as it is, I don't know how you can stop it. I mean, that training is going so fast and has so much weight behind it. And I mean, you can try to sue people, but it's going to keep going. And it's just one of the things that celebrities we have to live with nowadays.
Well, and I mean, some celebrities have managed to do some legal action. I know. I mean, we had Cyberpunk with Keanu Reeves. People were using his likeness to make non-safe for work mods for Cyberpunk. A lot of those mods got taken down, though. I mean, he just sort of laughed it off, I think, when he was actually asked about it. So it was probably more his PR people that took care of it than him, because he was just like, you know. He's like, that's sort of cool. But yeah. And I mean, I'm assuming, you know, he had already got his check from Cyberpunk for his likeness anyway, and it was probably a pretty damn good one.
Yeah, and I'm curious if he's going to be in the DLC. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, in the DLC trailer, he was in it, I think.
Was he? Okay. I couldn't remember. I've already bought the DLC. I had enough points through. I don't know if you do the thing with Bing every day for the rewards app.
I've tried, but I can't stand Bing. I did it for a little while, and I had a lot of points because of a long time ago when they first started the points thing. There used to be I was part of a Microsoft Academy thing that when I was working for a certain cell phone company, I was able to take like Microsoft AD certification with Windows Mobile and stuff like that. And I got a bunch of points for that. And I used to use it to buy like keyboards and Xbox controllers and stuff like that. And then they rolled out the Bing thing where everybody could do it. Yeah. And you know, hell, I like the free awards, so I tried to do it, but then I was just like, I hate Bing.
Well, I don't use. You don't have to use Bing. You just click on these little buttons and answer these little questions. And there's a survey of the day, which is one question. And so I had enough points for a $100 gift card. So I ended up buying the DLC for Cyberpunk. I bought the DLC for Mech Warrior Mercenaries, Mech Warrior 5, and then I bought Aliens Dark Descent. And I ended up paying 58 cents, and because of, you know, I was able to stack everything up in a way that didn't cost me anything except for a couple of pennies.
It cost you time, man. It cost you time.
Well, I log in every day. I click, and I go play my games. And so it's because there is bonuses for daily streaks and for doing week to week stuff. At least they took away you have to get so many achievements a week. That one was always a pain in the butt. It was making you go hunt achievements down.
Well, last time I looked at it, it was back before Game Pass and all that stuff, and it was one of those things where basically they were giving you points. At that point, they were giving you points to search, use Bing search, and that's why I sort of.
You still can do that, but if you look on your Xbox, and it's called the Rewards app, and it says, click here, look at this game. So I click and press B. I don't even bother opening it up. It's just A, B, and then back up, and then check this out, A, B, back up.
Shh, don't tell them your secret.
And then at the bottom, you have this little treasure chest, and click on that. There's one thing that just tells you whatever their thing is of the day, and then there's a survey that would you prefer to go to a rock concert or a country concert? Rock concert, okay. And the other one is just general current news questions. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 10. So I just press A, you know, all the way through. and then, okay, you got your points for the day. And so it takes me a couple of minutes, but I mean, I'll spend a couple of minutes to get me 3 new games.
Well, there you go. Bloodaxe's Guide to Getting Free Shit from Microsoft.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
If anyone has a question, just shoot me a comment or you can email bloodaxe@dicejunkies.com, and I'll be happy to talk with you. Or even add you onto my friends list. We can maybe go play and blow shit up together.
Speaking of free shit, Diablo was giving out uniques like candy for a few hours. Sadly, it was during the time when I finally have outplayed myself on Diablo. I've gotten 2 characters up to like 80-something, and then a third character up to like level 40, and I was like, you know what, I got to take a break. And then all of a sudden a unique shopping spree happens, and I missed out on it. But anyway, then Diablo went and or Blizzard went and disabled unique drops altogether for a while, or at least the uber unique uniques. They to cancel because people were getting, like, there was apparently hundreds of drops within like an hour or two. And
so they turned on Loot Explosion, did they?
yeah, apparently. And anyway, but other than that, they also had a big talk where they talked about Diablo 4 Season 1, the release date, some of the stuff coming up in the upcoming patches. Apparently more uniques are being added, some more aspects are being added. And that's going to, I think, go out to everybody on the 18th of July, as well as on the 20th. They will drop the new season. Now, some people were saying that they might not have a leaders board for a couple of seasons. That may be season 3. I did not see where that came from. That came from Q in a text, and we all know Q gets some weird information. So
it was season 3 ? And we're like,
yeah. But
yeah, the seasons is something that I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed playing through the seasons in Diablo 3. Q was like, so I lose my character? I'm like, yeah, but the next season you get new character, you get a new set and a new build. And
well, yeah, and that's I think the reason Q doesn't like the seasons as much as he only wants to play a necromancer. So he's just going to be playing a necromancer over and over again. I was like, no, I use the seasons to do it something different. You know, I usually roll up a different character every season. Now, the other cool thing about the season is if you haven't started Diablo 4 yet and you don't want to go through that huge level grind, during the season, it will be easier to level. So you might just want to wait till the first season to really start.
There was something in there that says if you haven't finished the game, you may not be able to progress.
There was something about finishing the campaign, the main campaign, to introduce. I think it says it takes place after the events of the main campaign. So you may start the season and still have to complete the main campaign if you haven't done it in the normal. The big thing about the seasons, though, is once you get out of that main campaign, and if you've already done it, you get to skip it. You can a lot of the things you get from the battle pass, and this is the normal battle pass that you don't have to pay for, is this red dust. And this red dust, you can use it to buy stuff like experience boost and stuff like that. Now, everything that you get from the battle pass plus, which is like the paid for battle pass, is all cosmetic. But but anyway, as you go through the story for the season, and each season is supposedly going to be a whole new story. Like they're going to add sort of a unique story for each season. We'll see how long that goes. But this one has to do with
corruption.
What's that?
Corruption.
Yeah, malignant corruption. So there's these malignant monsters. You kill them, and then you can get like an uber monster of some kind that then drops some kind of malignant gem, which can go into like your ring slots and their sockets, and gives some kind of unique ability to basically make all new unique builds. And pretty much they said there will be super builds during the season that are like uber powerful. And that's why I say leveling doing that max leveling. If you want to hit that level 100, it may be best to do it in the season. And then after the season, to my understanding, if seasons go the same way, that character will be basically dumped into the normal game.
I hope so.
At the end.
Yeah, I definitely hope so, because that's what they did with with Diablo 3, and that kind of bothered Q that you lost. You had to redo it every time, but players will find ways to level up in a couple hours and be done with it, and that way you can go and play the season. But I like the fact that it's not just, okay, you're playing through the regular game content, They actually are adding a twist with the corruption, the malignancy, or whatever you want to call it, and that's pretty cool
Yeah.
because you can fight the same things over and over again, but when you fight the same things, but they're twisted or changed, and they're adding unique enemies and bosses, that makes it more fun because it does get kind of stale after a while. Oh, how many times can I go kill the butcher?
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty interesting. And I haven't finished the campaign because I've been just crazy busy with work and everything else that's going on, but I need to finish it.
Yeah.
I know you helped me blitz through a lot of it last weekend, and
And you're pretty close to the end, so.
Okay, well, good. So I can finish it and finish getting my character leveled up, so I can just understand the dynamics of playing the druid.
Well, and the other thing you'll want to do is probably before the season starts, go ahead and go on the hunt to get all the Lilith statues and try to get all your renown maxed out, because that will go into the season. If you already have a character, you might as well go ahead and start looking for the Lilith statues and looking for the and going through some dungeons, get your renown maxed up. So that way when you start the season, you're starting the season off with 8 skill points, or 10 skill points. Yeah, 10 skill points that you'll immediately be able to start the game with, because that, through the renown, you get some extra skill points. And then once you hit level 50, you'll have like 20 Paragon points that you get from your renown that you'll immediately be able to use, plus the extra stats you get from finding all the statues. You get the start, so you get a pretty good boost to your start if you already have a character. But
that's something I need to go do is find all the statues, and I'll probably grind that once we finish the campaign, which. My druid, I've been slapping on just random gear that I find. I don't even know if it's even worthwhile what I have on. So I do need to spend more time with my character, but I am excited for the seasons. That's, again, something I've always enjoyed playing. And I think you played the seasons pretty hardcore as well for a while in Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, seasons were one of those things I came back and forth on. So I'd play a season or two, back to back, and then I'd quit playing. And then when I didn't have anything to do, I'd go back and play another season or so. So, I mean, I probably played through about 10 different seasons in Diablo 3. So I will say I enjoy it. It's one of those things where it's a time filler for the next best thing.
Until Starfield comes out.
Yeah. Starfield and Liza P. Liza P comes out like 2 weeks after Starfield. Liza P looks really good. I'm probably going to be torn for a bit there. I also got to come up with a sick day excuse so I can get out of work for a day or two for Starfield. I'll probably go to my boss Tuesday and see if he can help me come up with one. Be like, hey, Josh, what's a good reason to be sick on September 9th or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it is in September, but yeah.
All right. So something that's not allowed in Diablo 4, even though, Bloodaxe loves the druid, and that's bear fucking.
When you sent me this, it kind of reminded me of Super Troopers. Have you seen Super Troopers?
Yes.
So the Super Troopers, there's a costume that this guy had, a redneck with a bear, and he's basically humping the bear from behind and trying to distract these cops. And this cop walks up and goes, hey, bear fucker, do you need assistance? So when you sent me this, I immediately went Super Troopers with it.
I get that.
Yeah, but this is wild. especially for Baldur's Gate. That's just really wild.
So, all right, to sum this up, Larian Studios had an event, and during the event, they were going through some of the stories, some of the dialogue. Of course, they got people online to suggest, what options to select. And, of course, they pretty much knew which options were going to get selected. And in the end, it led to bear fucking. And, so basically there is one of the relationship options in Baldur's Gate where this elf guy and this druid guy are apparently getting intimate, and in that process, the druid slips up and goes bare for a minute. He's like, oh no, my bad. I got a little carried away there. And one of the options is, I'm okay with it. In which you then have some, I'm all about options in RPGs. And honestly, I'm not that shocked by this one. As much as I am shocked that they did it on a live stream. This reminds me of Dragon Age 3, where the big, I forget the race now, but it's the big warrior type bull guy. One of the romances there. And it's like, you know what? I would play the game and I would never know about it.
Yep.
Because it's not an option I would pick. And obviously, I think they chose this because they knew that it would get people to talk about Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 has sort of become old news. Even though it isn't out yet, it's been out in beta and early access since like 2020, I think now. And so with people sort of already getting their feel, probably some people already been burnt out on Baldur's Gate with the parts that they have been able to play through the early access, I'm not surprised that they wanted to do something to shock and to bring attention. And I think they chose bear fucking. Like I said, it's not a path if I played Baldur's Gate 3 that I will choose, but it's also not a forced path, so I don't really care so much. There's a lot of other weird things that they're doing just in character creation and all that I guess is probably also brought up a lot of controversy, between the woke and the anti-woke and all that stuff with being able to pick pronouns. And, one of the things you saw in this thing is there's actually a selector for genitalia. So I'm assuming which they didn't show the options. So that became a big joke too. It's like, people started naming off, like creating penises of power and stuff like that as options. So it was amusing.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, so I'm sort of curious where, I guess, what the end hype on this, like, because I mean a lot of people are not happy with this type of stuff and it really bothers them. Some people don't really care, which is sort of my stance. And then, some people are really hyped about it and are like, ooh, wow, so edgy.
And they won't buy it.
What's that?
The ones that are excited about it won't buy it.
Yeah. But, so I am I'm sort of curious of what, is this going to be a Bud Light situation, or is this just going to be another Oh yeah, they're doing a thing and then move on.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because we've had other games that you've been able to make selections similar to that.
Hmm.
Um, the turnoff for me is the fact that you're deviating from what I enjoyed in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. 'Cause I played a lot of Baldur's Gate. I'd make different characters. I'd make a wizard. I'd make a ranger. Make a fighter. Make a paladin, and go through the whole game. And now that I have to stop and I have to do influence with NPCs and there's romance options, that's just after the first playthrough, that's nothing I'll be interested in anymore.
Well, and I don't think it's required. And I will say, man, even the old Baldur's Gate games always had a relationship thing. Now, it wasn't a relationship as in a romantic relationship, but they had relationships that as you built, a level of loyalty with your companions, it would unlock some story elements. And so, I mean, that's not unique to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I don't think romance was really a big thing in the first two Baldur's Gates. Either it wasn't or I just didn't care. I never did any kind of romance in Baldur's Gate. I did build a relationship with the people in my party so that I could unlock the story.
Right, yeah, but I don't remember there being a romance thing. Plus, you have to have all these cutscenes put in, which is going to take time to go through and all that. And I don't need all that. If I'm going to play a hack and slash dungeon crawler, I'll want to be able to play a hack and slash dungeon crawler. I'm not interested in the extra stuff. I want a good story as far as why I'm going through this adventure, but I don't need the other stuff. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to play Dragon Age, and that's exactly how they're going with it. It seems like is the whole Dragon Age path, and Dragon Age is a one playthrough and done. I've never played Dragon Age more than once, so I probably will wait to see what the reviews are, and if you get it, what your opinion is, but it's not going to be a day one for me.
Well, no, and I mean, honestly, like I said, it's been available on Steam for a while. I haven't picked it up because, for one, I didn't want to get burnt out until the game was actually finished. And for two, I mean, I think they said there's 200, 300 hours of gameplay or something, 400 hours of gameplay. It was a massive amount.
It's a lot of gameplay.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming that's including like side quests, stuff like that, and if you want to do everything. But I mean, yeah, it's a lot of hours, and I'm going to have to be in a specific mood to play the Baldur's Gate style game. And so it's one of those that it'll be on the back burner. I'll probably wait for it to go on a Steam sale. I'll pick it up, But will it be something that's just must play right now? When it comes out? No, I don't see that.
Right.
Larian Studios did the Divinity games, and the Divinity games had awesome storytelling. So I expect really good storytelling.
I hope so.
One of the other things, outside the controversy of the Baldur's Gate 3, they did talk about one cool element, and that was they basically have a courier where papers can get our Gazette, and it will actually have stories, including stories that are manipulated by what you do in the game. So you can basically read about yourself in the paper as you're playing this game based on your different stories, which I thought was cool because it gives you that element of your actions actually mattering. And as DMs, it's one of the things you try to create as a DM or GM, is that what you do in the world is actually affecting the world. And this is an interesting way of doing that with having the Baldur's Baldur's Mouth, I think is the name of the paper here. And it's sort of, gives you a breakdown of things that are happening in the world. And a lot of that is affected by your actions. So I thought that's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things that I wish more games would do, is to show that your actions are actually making a difference, and your choices can actually change what you see or hear. Whether it's townsfolk say there's the hero, or if you're going villain, they kind of shy away from you, or the commenters back off. I think that adds more flavor to allow you to really immerse yourself into the game. But the Gazette being able to read about your adventures or your heists, if you will, that's pretty cool. I did not catch that in the article, so thanks for sharing that. That's something that would add a lot of flavor to a game.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. And like I said, we were talking about the controversy, but I also wanted to talk about the good too, because I know a lot of people, they're gonna and the article I sent you, I think, only focused on the controversial part.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of interesting things. I mean, just from the number of classes and all that stuff. There's and races, gives you a lot of options. But it depends on, I guess, what you're willing to wade through, and how much, if some of the options, some of the things get sort of forced down your throat, that becomes an issue. But if they're there, I'm all about customization for everybody. If you want to throw in options that's for things that I don't care about, that's fine, as long as I don't have to take that option.
Right.
And so, because I've always been an advocate of more customization, the better. I love being able to customize my character. It allows me to get into the zone as I play. It allows me to feel like I am actually the character, get emergence into the game, and you sort of leave behind the bullshit of your day in the real world, and it gives you that cathartic moment of playing a video game, which is what most people want from a video game. Is the sort of escapism,
right.
And as long as they can do that, I don't give a shit what else they put in for escapism of other people. Matter of fact, I promote that. Everybody should have the option of escapism, and that's what customization allows. Now, the fact that they make a big deal out of certain things and push a certain direction goes, are they going to force some things on me? And that's where, I draw the line, is sort of,
Right. Yeah, and I definitely agree with that. I don't like things being forced down my throat. I like to have choices, and like to be the hero of whatever game I'm playing, or the villain, depending on which path that I'm taking. So yeah, I think we're basically on the same page with that.
Yeah. And I think that's all we got, man. Your Grand Theft Auto 5 is supposedly coming to Game Pass, or is on Game Pass now, I think.
It's already on Game Pass, yeah.
So, it's an older game, but it's still the latest Grand Theft Auto, and I think a lot of people are still playing the multiplayer of it. And I heard recently they got rid of some of the massive button smashing for like running and stuff like that. So, they were, I saw somewhere they were like, "Hey, you don't have to break your controller to run anymore,"
That'll help.
But no, I'm looking forward to the upcoming games, man. You got anything? I guess before we wrap it up.
No, like I said, I've been busy with work and unpacking, and Really haven't been online much, but hopefully we'll get things back to normal here in the next couple of weeks, and maybe actually play or finish Diablo at that point.
You got 11 days, man. 11 days to squeeze it in there.
And I may not finish it between now and then, which is fine. But you said I'm close, so if I sit and binge it for a Saturday, I might be able to finish it off.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like I said, I mean, probably another 30 minutes to an hour, you'll be done with the campaign, and then, however long it takes you to do the other little things.
Okay, cool.
But, cool, man. Well, that's all I got. Thanks to people for joining in the chat room, and please don't deep fake me singing the Sailor Moon theme. That would be wrong. And thanks for joining. And be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere we are online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Go to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button so you get notifications whenever we post online. And as every week,
we hope you enjoy.